Bandito Radio 112 FM, a streaming radio station for all toy enthusiasts, collectors, photographers, and customizers. Built to match your mood and passion. Music from hip-hop to country and all the rock in between with host Howlin' Jim Jackson. For a dose of the macabre, there's Myra's Morgue of Midnight Madness, featuring old-time radio dramas and Action Figure Frequencies, a radio podcast about all aspects of toys and toy collecting, with your hosts, SKN's own Chet Maddox and Alexander Storm. Bandito Radio 112 FM. Available to stream now on Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 p.m. Pacific time right here on the Shadow Nose Network. And we are going to go a little further tonight as we introduce a series of amazing topics this evening. First off, we are going to answer one of life's biggest questions, like who wins in a street fight? Godzilla, King Kong, T-Rex. It's the Elimination March Madness King of Monsters edition. One will rise, one will fall, and one will probably trip over a building, folks. I am so excited. But that's not all. We are breaking down Daredevil episode 3. Was it a knockout, or did it leave us legally blind with disappointment? And also, well, Walmart Collectors Con, folks, because nothing says exclusive like fighting bots over an action figure at 7 o'clock in the morning. Plus, John Wick, Stan Lee, and a hell of a lot more. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. This is Pixels Plastic Inc. Gentlemen, good evening to all of you. Dr. Brantley's got the Punisher shirt. He's ready to go to battle. How are you this fine evening?
Good. It's probably my favorite Marvel character. So I'm loving Daredevil right now.
Yes, sir. And we got checking in Mr. Alexander Storm. How are you this evening, sir?
Good evening, gentlemen. How's everybody doing out there?
Good. And then, last but not least, Mr. Chet Maddox. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good. I don't know if I could say that for Daredevil episode 3, but I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, we got a lot of talk about this evening. And, we should probably get right to things. For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time, again, we're here every Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, right here on the YouTube channel. So please subscribe, like, follow along we're going to dive into the elimination bracket challenge in just a bit. But first off, we wanted to tackle some really important news. And first off, let's do an update because I think the Walmart Collectors Con, right? That was a big thing, as it always is every year. And if you don't tune in every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time on this channel, is the Toy Box Chronicles featuring Mr. Chet Maddox and Mr. Alexander Storm. And they previewed all the figures that were coming out from Marvel to DC to G.I. Joe. And well, if you weren't up early, and you didn't battle the bots, you might have missed out on a few things. Gentlemen, your observation of the Walmart Collectors Con. Let's start there.
Well, like I said, for me, it did okay. I don't know about Mr. Maddox here, you know,
No,
but I wasn't complaining about it. I say the probably a stout Mr. Darth Moocher gave me a little trick to do to get it, and actually he sent me a link and everything else. And when I went in, I was able to it fired up at 658, and I immediately put one crystal ball into my cart, and I said from there, I'll see how it goes. And it was fine. I ended up purchasing it. Then 15 minutes later, Hasbro Pulse at about 7:15 sent out an email saying, "Hey, by the way, we have stock here for a limited point." So I went over there because Mr. Maddox was saying that he couldn't get his, and I went over there and I had it in my cart. And the same problem that Mr. Maddox had, I actually had. It would not let me purchase or anything. It wouldn't let me put my shipping information, and it just started messing up. And then by the time I had turned around, it was it said I couldn't order it, and then the sold out thing came, and I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" So $33 are deducted on my account already. What about you, Mr. Maddox?
Crooked smile. Walmart will cancel it anyway.
Look, here's the deal. Yes, I was late to the party. I understand it's almost impossible to buy anything from Walmart Con at 7:01, but it also didn't load for me, and I tried the same way that you did as well. And then I was also on Hasbro Pulse, and it showed up. And then I was like, "Oh, look, I'm getting the same issue that I got the last time." So I didn't get it. And you know what? I'm just gonna have to pay whatever I'm gonna have to pay for it because I really want Crystal Ball, and that sucks.
Well, if you had a crystal ball, you would have known. You would have not received the
Oh,
figure.
we already said that over on the old box. We were just like, this shit ain't. Yeah.
Now here's the thing that I'll let you know, though, Chet. Usually, every time that this happens, and they usually go through the part, it's never going to make it to the store shelf. But I would not be surprised within a month or two, he pops up, and he pops up for the actual price because Walmart has a way of just doing that in the beginning. So, and Crooked all said, if my orders came through, I can hook you up. Okay, all right. Well, there you go, Chet.
We'll hold you to that.
Yes.
Yeah, while I did not achieve getting all the figures that I wanted, I did stumble across a King Homer plush doll that I got for $14. So that's a win. Anytime I can get a Homer Simpson looks like King Kong to put right on my Simpsons arcade, I walked away a victorious champion. But I did not get the Joe figure, as many of us did not. But plenty of Spider-Mans left after the 7 a.m. hour. So if you were seeking those, I didn't pull the trigger on the Berserker figure, but I got to say, pretty epic figure. I wasn't ready to spend $50 on like a, Keanu Reeves imagined figure, but I think the accessories were incredible. And then McFarlane did on socials kind of a rundown of that figure too. So I don't know if it's still available. I didn't check as of today, but some cool stuff. But at the end of the day, the battle of the bots, and usually the most popular of the figures, it's very difficult to obtain if you don't get it within the first 10-15 minutes. But this is the figure that was in high desire. What'd you all think about these here? I know you all talked about it on the Toy Box Chronicles, but I saw that Steve Austin pop. That was a very popular figure amongst the wrestling community. I'm not sure if those Star Wars figures went fast. I wasn't paying attention. I'm not sure if they're available, but it didn't. It seemed like they were at least available after a couple of hours after launch.
Well, like I said, Mr. Max, don't feel bad. I'm looking right here that Scott Solo said he missed it as well. So from what I'm hearing, and actually on some of the GI Joe Facebook groups that I'm in, a lot of people missed this. So I don't know what they did or the quantities or whatever, but this was a point of contention. I checked that so today. Some of the Star Wars figures were still available. The retro pack, Revenge of the Sith. I didn't check on Berserk, but again, like you were saying, Rad, McFarlane did post a social media, and he said previously before, don't worry if this first initial thing sells out. Later on, and several weeks later, we will have way more supplies coming in. So he kind of like assured us that if you wanted Berserker, you're going to be able to get them. I think the WWE figure Stone Cold Steve Austin did, but again, Chet and I were saying this, we couldn't find John Cena figure. Somehow it just, we were looking right at it. I still can't see it now, man. So
So here's the thing that I don't get, because these companies are supposed to be in the business of making money. Why wouldn't you take the orders first and figure out how many you need to manufacture and then manufacture them?
I don't know.
I
It makes
mean,
common sense.
everyone would get them and they wouldn't be so high on the back market,
What was the deal with the Hasbro Pulse having the crystal ball figure out?
Yeah.
Was that actually sold off the site, or was that a glitch
No,
early in the morning?
that was actually real. That's the first time they've ever done. That's why it
Wow.
shocked me. But it didn't. But they didn't send out any information until 7:15. And he said, "Hey, boom!" It popped up. Hey, go over. We got limited quantities. And I immediately went over there because Chet was saying, "Hey, man, I didn't get it." I said, "Well, let me go over there and check." And if it was there, I was going to order too, because I'm like, you pay for the Hasbro Pulse subscription for a reason, for free shipping. This has been asking the same question for years, sir. Like another person. But I logged in and it let me put it into the cart. And I was like, cool, all right, I got it. I didn't go for anything else. I said, you know what? Let me go over and check out. And as I was checking out the same issue that Chet had, it came up and it said, "Oh, your address is not working right," and this, and I started putting that back in, and then it made me refresh the screen. And by the time I had it in the cart, I put the payment through. I went to hit the payment point, and then all of a sudden it came and said, "Boop! Oh, this item's no longer in stock." And I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me, man!" So,
Yeah.
No, they're not.
I will say one thing about Walmart though. They've had their glitches over time, but more frequently than not, when they say it's 7 a.m., it's typically 7.
Yeah.
Target, on the other hand, you wake up in the morning, the shit released at midnight, and it's already gone. And the figures are on the shelves already. It's just a disaster. So Walmart's actually got their stuff figured out a bit better than Target. At the end of the day, there's still room for opportunity. I cannot for the life of me, both of those apps, if you log on, it's like a hunt to try to find the link in the search, and you got to rely on somebody dropping a link in socials.
Mm-hmm.
Let me open up the app and says Collectors Con, boom, all the figures, Target, like boom, like what's going on, man? Like, come on, make it easy for us collectors. Why are we hunting these things down and waiting for the popular toy sites to drop a link to the actual figure? I don't get it.
My favorite part about it is that Crystal Ball sold out in under a minute. And then as soon as it did and they started getting backlash, I saw like on X and all that, they removed it off the front page like it never existed.
Yeah.
I was like,
And Commander Bly does have a point right here. He says, "Who's when you piss off your fan base?"
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a very smart corporate move to do that, man.
Mhm.
Again, that's why we said Collectors Con. No, it's Collectors Scam, because a lot of people.
It's a con.
Yeah, there were more people pissed than I saw on social media. And I was like, this is not good for a company. This is not good for a brand. It just doesn't make any sense why you would not have sufficient issues, or like Dr. Brentley said, the logical thing. Yeah, this is my roommate is an
Oh.
overnight stocker at Walmart. So when they hit the shelves and everything, well, here's the thing, man. I would love to know, Richard, if it ever hits the stands, because mostly that Night Force stuff never hits the WalMarts in our area. Because Chet and I are routinely going to that in Target, and there's nothing on the Walmart shelves.
Yeah, there never is in any of the Walmarts near me either. You can't find hard. You can't find. Actually, Target is actually better,
Yeah.
mistakenly putting figures out
Mhm.
before pre-orders arrive.
Yeah.
Way better than Walmart is. I cannot find anything at Walmart.
My
Maybe some
favorite,
wrestling stuff, but I don't collect that.
yeah, my favorite thing about this crystal ball is how they're tanking it review wise on Hasbro Pulse.
Mhm.
It's just getting like bad review after bad review. It's like after 20 years, you think you could get pre-orders right, and how come I got a message 17 minutes after it was sold out that it was available on Hasbro Pulse?
hmm
And then there's one guy says, who's got a crystal ball?
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Brooklyn Snow said they get sold out of the back. From everything I hear, they never make the shelves. Okay, so like
Mm,
probably through the
Explains a lot.
processing order. Mhm.
interesting. Well, another year goes by, some wins, some victories, some disappointments, but we will stay tuned for another version of Walmart Collectors Con. For those of you who are tuning in for the Godzilla, the King of Monsters bracket, that is coming very shortly. But before we do, it's time to talk about Daredevil Episode 3. Spoiler alert for those of you who are not currently caught up on the Daredevil series. Well, I don't know what you are waiting for, because we are now 3 episodes in to the much anticipated series on Disney Plus. We reviewed the first 2, and here we are, episode 3. So again, spoiler alert. But let's start with Dr. Brantley. We got the Punisher shirt. What did you think? White Tiger in the mix, and a few other things arise. Your take on just the overall first 3 and this last 3?
I'm enjoying it. This was probably the weakest so far of the episodes, but I'm just really enjoying the show. I don't know the character White Tiger much, so it's all new to me. But man, I'm liking it. I like the whole thing of the cops are getting into like the Punisher thing and doing stuff in his name. I think that's kind of cool. It's kind of realistic too. But you know, I I think it's good. I don't know.
You don't know what it's like. Yeah, I'm not a look. I think that the first 2 were fantastic. And this one, the only thing I don't like about it is that you can tell like all the reshoots, and it's all kind of like adding up on like what Disney wanted to get away from and having to change everything. And it's cool. I enjoy it. I think it's one of their better ones. This episode was just, I think, a little too slow for me compared to what I was expecting from the previous 2. So I think that's the only thing that I'm weary about. Let's say.
Yeah, I'll agree. I think this one was the pacing was too slow. This was more a legal drama, more than anything else. And I think that again, I've said this before. I'll say it again. This is what happens when you don't know how to write for a captive audience, and you're writing for like the episode 8 or 9 or 10, and you're holding off everything, and it's just a slow grinding halt to get to where you need to get to. And I think they ended episode 3. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but I think that's where it kind of shows maybe the episode 4 is going to pick up from where it is. But they've got to learn how to keep audiences together. Like every episode, again, if the Penguin can do it, every other writer out there needs to be. How do you? Because in writing, you're supposed to ratchet it up. Every episode, it should be like a roller coaster, and you should be preparing for the next episode. And they did at the end of this, but these 3 have just kind of been lingering in, kind of like what's going to happen? Will anything happen? Should anything happen? And I think from this point on, we may get to see things ratcheted up a little. But I thought I thought the actor who played the White Tiger, unfortunately, he passed away. I think he did a great job, and I think it was a great buildup of a character that I didn't even have a lot of knowledge of. I've seen him in the Marvel comics, but not. But I think they did a very good representation of having these characters on street level in the street a little bit more than they've done in any of the other shows.
I'm curious of the choice to bring in a very, very lesser known character, even amongst comic book fans, into the series. And so you have to do a really great job in articulating the story so that not only the comic nerds and the big fans, but also just the general audience has some investment into White Tiger. And it's slower build, and there is some fascination and interest there. But I think it's just a curious choice when they do that, because you think about the Marvel universe, there's so many untapped characters that have not been introduced that they could have embedded into this series. But I also understand you don't want to overpopulate with big characters, and you want to focus on Daredevil and Punisher, Kingpin. But curious choice. I want to, we'll see how the series evolves. I don't know if we'll see a White Tiger action figure anytime soon from the MCU, but it's a good start. I think the episode 3 was not as good as episode 1 and 2, but still I'm captivated and I'm interested to see. They didn't lose me, and I think they didn't lose their core audience, and I'm looking forward to see how all the story evolves.
But see, this was a legal show. Like, this one is straight up like this was an LA Law episode, which I like. I love all the legal stuff. And at the end, I did not know whether they were going to find him guilty or not guilty. It could have gone either way. And so I was invested in that. But to your point, I know exactly why they didn't bring in a more well-known character for this part, So that's why they had to go for some of the, C or D level character for this particular story.
Yep. Well, we will follow along the Daredevil route to see how this goes, but we are on to another new announcement, and Mr. Storm, the world of John Wick continues.
Yes, it does.
What are we talking about here with Mr. Wick?
I'm shocked, but the all over the trades they put that out that the script to John Wick 5 is being currently written. Now, if anybody hadn't seen John Wick 4, it's going to be interesting how he comes back in John Wick 5. I'll just say it's going to be a little bit surprising on that one. So I don't know how that's going to trigger in and affect and everything else. But we'll end up seeing. I'm looking forward to it. Look, so far all 5 have been really great, in the whole franchise and everything else. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm excited about it. Again, I just don't know. Good writers. I don't know how they're gonna bring them back, but interesting enough to see.
You could make 10 of these, and I watch them.
Yeah,
nonstop. I would watch them nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just Keanu saying enough is enough, but they'll pump him out. They'll be great action sequences until he's too old where he can't do it. But I would love if he's doing them when he's in his 70s. It would be just awesome.
Harrison Ford's doing it.
I know. It would just be so awesome to see
John Wick 19.
Yeah, it would be amazing. I have complete confidence in this series and the writing and the fight choreography. I hope Keanu is up for the challenge, but I'm ready. I'm also ready for Ballerina and to see how that movie is, and if they do a unique take in the Wick universe. I hope it's successful. And to my understanding, Keanu is in this movie, right? Does he is he a cameo, or do we not know that?
You talking about Ballerina?
Yeah, is he in it?
They're saying it's not just a 5-minute that he shows up in the movie now.
Well, then
but we don't know how long it is, but I know he's
Yeah.
not the main focus of the film,
Okay.
Yeah, I think they put this announcement up just to garner a little bit more interest in the ballerina because we were talking about it a couple of months ago, but it's kind of died off a little bit of the radar or the hype machine. Now that could be because Lionsgate is hemorrhaging money and they haven't actually put a bunch of money into the promotion of this. But I think it starts it back into the conversation. What do you believe, Chet?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm super biased on John Wick. I think that all of the John Wicks have been great. I think Ballerina. I think it's either gonna. It's. I think Ballerina is the one that could either make or break it, depending on what they did. Because if you remember that Continental offshoot that they did, that TV show, it was like, come on, And I think that the John Wick story is just it runs so deep that there's a lot to do with it. I'm curious to see how active it is, and you heard Keanu Reeves talk about like his knees and everything. So, look, I'm with Rad. If this is John Wick 36, I'm probably still going.
Yep, 100%. Well,
yeah. And first of all, this is the only thing that is Lionsgate's making money on. So they're going to be very careful with how they promote it and put everything out there. So I would not be surprised if they are just fine-tuning Ballerina to be the absolute best it can be. Because if it flops, they're in big trouble.
That's right. That's right. Did they make a John Wick video game yet, or has he been a character in like a Mortal Kombat?
There was a John Wick video game on Steam. It didn't really get. I don't think it really got like crazy. But then he also basically was like John Wick and Cyberpunk.
Mm.
And then he's been in a few, but they haven't done like a good John Wick game.
Oh, he's got to be in Fortnite or something.
I don't know. I want to see him in like Mortal Kombat as a playable character. Because they usually like, Spawn's in there and like Terminator. Oh, he is in Fortnite. Okay.
There you go.
I mean, that is the who's who. Literally, it's like Fortnite and then Call of Duty second as far as like character skins. All right. Well, before if you are tuning in for the King of Monsters bracket battle, we are almost at that time. But before we do, and you haven't subscribed, you haven't liked, you haven't dropped a comment, well, it's time for everyone's favorite segment. And that's SKN.
From your world to our world, this is SKN News, and we have some stuff to go over tonight. And actually, the best part about it, we're starting with one of the most, if Lionsgate is in trouble, then Disney's hoping that this is the thing that rebounds their troubles. The Avengers Doomsday and Secret War, Doom will draw from the comics. Okay, now this is where I think they're going to get things right here. It says directing duo Joe and Anthony Russo have revealed which comics their upcoming Marvel projects Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret War will follow due to there being two separate series titled Secret Wars. But, from their quote and everything, but, I grew up with the original one. That was something that got me into Marvel comic book. The Hickman one is also fantastic, and they're very different from each other in a lot of ways. So we'll draw inspiration from both of them, said Joe Russell. Of course, the co-directors are referring to both of the Marvel comic book collections, which share the title Secret Wars, the 80s written by Jim Shooter, and the newer version of it written by Jonathan Hickman. I've read both versions. I still think, even after, let's say 30, 40 years now, that Jim Shooter's version is better because there was more shocking things. I think that, now it's kind of hard to shock, but you guys like that they're going to go back to the origins of the MCU and actually start drawing back from the characters? Or do you think that, they just need to just, make up the things that go on?
It's what started them out. They followed the comics and they did well. They went away from the comics and it started to fall apart.
Yeah, I agree. Stick to the source materials. I mean, you can make these minor tweaks for, cinematic flavor, but the core organic story and character background should remain pretty similar, right? Like Thanos is an example, right? Not exactly why he snapped half the universe in the comics compared to the MCU, but it was like a subtle change where it wasn't a big influence. Like we didn't need to know like he loved death and all, like, but they stayed pretty true to it. With Doom and Secret War, you have to stay 90% true to the source. Otherwise, you're going to lose the core fan base and this will not do well. So I'm excited that they're going back and using the correct source material.
I will say though that even if they're bad, Doomsday and Secret Wars are gonna be huge moneymakers.
Oh yeah, people are showing up. Yeah.
It's not gonna be like the Marvels or something. People are gonna go see this, even if everyone says, "Oh, it's bad." Robert Downey Jr.'s in it. I'm gonna go see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chet?
This one's interesting for me. I think you know there's always this idea in this, and I don't know. I think Penguin did it really good, and we're like comparing movies to TV shows, but there's always this thing where people like it's you can't do like reference material 100%, and you can't like follow it along because it's not written for or doesn't fit in. And so I think at some point in time, as you as you as you look into like what the fans want, and the major feedback of what it is like, okay, I get it. There's people that are going to go see this that have no clue, that haven't read the comics that they say they're going to follow. That maybe but at the end of the day, the people that are going to get the people to go see it that don't know about it are the ones that know the flow of the comics, that understand that. And yeah, you're gonna have the fanboys and fangirls that are going because it just says Marvel and it's a superhero. But I think they have to follow as much as they can with this, because Doom is such a vulnerable character in terms of like, he is like a big bad. He's something that people have been like, why isn't this been done properly? And so if people hate it and you screwed up, and you can blame it on, we just followed what the series did, I think you have an out. But I'm keeping my hopes and my expectations for anything regarding Fantastic Four and Doom at a very, very low level. So that way, anything better than that, I'm excited about.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Commander Bly has a great point here, because this is what they should have been doing. It's like, even if you have to recast Captain America or Iron Man, you should still have, there's plenty of stories that they just haven't gotten near yet. And, that's what we want to see. Demon in a bottle, although Disney probably would never do that. But that's something that fans would love to see, I think. And also that's something that if Robert Downey Jr. were doing it, he could probably get like an Oscar nomination or something. But that's not the way they want to go.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like I said, again, it never hurts when you use the source material if you use it correctly. And I think the fans, because Doctor Doom's a very old character, so there's a lot of people that have looked forward to seeing a better version of Doctor Doom hit the screen. And let's be honest, I think that Robert Downey Jr. is going to give that to him, and they need another big bad. So I think the universe only works when you have like a greater force for them to overcome, and they've kind of been. Kang just didn't do that. And I know he's bigger in the comic books, but for some strange reason it didn't translate the screen, right, Chet?
Yeah, at all.
Yeah. So
At all.
It's fine and dandy. We'll see if they get this right. I think they said that it was going to be delayed a little bit, Doomsday, and that's generally probably because they have to get so many actors together and so many schedules. But
Yeah.
hey, if it's good, we can wait for it. So from there, we
Is,
move
is
over.
that is that is that what we're telling ourselves?
Hey, if it's good, we can wait for it, man. If it's bad, they can rush it to us. They've done that before.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Or they can hold it like
Exactly.
Craven and just wait and wait and wait and then finally
Exactly.
release it.
Well, like I said, Sync casted in Spider-Man 4. We're going to have some Spider-Man 4, and this is not a rumor. This is a fact because this person has been saying. Sadie Sink is joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Stranger Things star has been cast in the Spider-Man 4, which she'll share the screen with Tom Holland as a teenage web slinger adventure. It's unclear who Sink will portray in the comic book adventure, though Deadline, which first reported the casting news, hinted that her role would be significant. The outlet also positioned that Sync could play the X-Men Mutant Gray, a character who has been brought to the screen by several other actors before. I just heard a rumor early in the night, though, that there's a fan theory that it could also be Firestorm, for if you remember Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends.
Yeah.
So there's possibilities. If it is Jean Grey, that's great. If it's Firestorm, that's uniquely cool too. So, I'm just glad we're getting reports that something's getting casted, because when they hear casting, we know then they're getting closer to shooting. So, guys, what do you guys think that Miss Sink will actually be able to play? And are you excited about the casting?
I mean, we haven't seen. I would love to see um a Spider Gwen live action.
Mm,
It's only been animated,
mhm.
and I think it'd be great to see Gwen Stacy, and we get to see a live action Miles Morales, and uh, I think Ghost Spider would be amazing to see it. So we'll see the next versions of casting, because if there's another gentleman that gets cast that's like, oh, he could be a Miles Morales, maybe we see something. But I would say it'd be cool, but I like your Firestorm. I think that could definitely be it too. And then it's like, well, then is Iceman going to be a part of this? Which would be really rad
That'd
to
be
have
cool.
the Amazing Friends.
Yeah.
Like if they took it all the way back, I would sign up for that all day long too. And let me
That'd
see
be
Tom Holland with
fantastic.
the old Spidey suit too, which would
Oh,
be
yeah.
awesome. So either one, I'm up for it. I think she's great. She's probably one of the best pieces of Stranger Things recently too.
And I also think that the way that they're going with the Spider-Man movies, which they're a little bit lighter and comedy, the Spider-Man and his amazing friends actually kind of works with those that tone of those, which it'd be awesome because we never really saw Iceman in the X-Men movies do Iceman stuff.
That's
I would
true.
love to see him when flying all over the city on a ice slide.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah, so,
I will raise my bar a little bit for this one.
Commander Blythe said we get Firestone. They need the sound effects from the cartoon.
That's right.
Exactly. Maybe put his encase himself in ice and then break out. Again, great trio when they were on. We know it's going to happen if she's Firestorm, but we see Tom Holland walking around with like a little dog. Then we're like, okay, wait a minute, it's getting getting too close to that cartoon thing. But again, whenever we get any kind of casting, it's kind of cool because then, like I said again, once they start casting, they're getting ready to really start shooting. So looking forward to this one and everything, because all three of those, just like the John Wick, I'm surprised all three of the Spider-Man movies have been good. So, hopefully we're not down for that fourth letdown.
Well, and it is a different director. So
Yeah.
let's just hope that he has that same touch with it.
Well, from there we move on to, now here's the thing out there. We thought this is the kind of pop culture news, but not major, but it is, because you should run right now to your living room and pull out your DVD collection or go into your storage after the show, your storage, and check and make sure that your Warner Brothers disc, because TV doesn't rot your brain, but apparently only WB DVDs do. Report came out the other day. Due to the way that Warner Brothers manufactured their DVDs, virtually all disc press from 2006 to 2008 are now unplayable. Here's a statement that comes from the Warner Brothers people. Warner Brothers Home Entertainment is aware of potential issues affecting selected DVDs manufactured between 2006 and 2008, and the company has been actively working with consumers to replace defective discs. Where possible, the defective discs have been placed with the same title. However, as some of the affected titles are no longer in print or the rights have expired, consumers have been offered in exchange a title or a like value. Customers with affected products can contact the customer support team at wbd.com. Now here, or actually, I think there's YHF or Z or I'm sorry,
WHV at
Why would it be?
WBD.com.
Yeah, Warner Home Video. Like, why?
They're trying
would
to make it so difficult to find that you're not going to replace your
Look,
discs.
All I know is this
is so bad.
This is an origin story of a zombie movie.
Yeah.
DVDs growing spores, infecting a population, and Warner Brothers is at fault. So
Well, the funny thing that I noticed that I was reading through, I have hundreds of. Oh, you better go through, especially. You know.
well, we just identified patient zero. So someone check on Richard.
Well, here's the worst part though. Between 2006 and 2008 and everything, this is how the world ends. Yeah, it does. There's Warner Brothers going to start doing that. When you start looking at these discs and everything, I think that's the aspect. As they started coming to streaming, more people started putting their DVD collections into storage and just forgetting about them. And now it's like, uh-oh. And let's be honest, Warner Brothers may say that they're gonna, like they say, some of the titles we can't get, some of the situations might be expired. If they're already coming with the BS kind of thing that we're not going to be able to replace this crap. And then what do you get? So like the Warner Bros. Collections on certain films, some of them are way older, like, from the 50s and the 60s. So they don't have the rights to them. Then what are you going to do? Give them some updated film or something that they may not want. So that's not really selling. I didn't hear anybody about a cash compensation or anything back from that. So it's kind of interesting. But if you look at some of these discs, and I've seen one that it actually was like a milky kind of situation, it was like some form of liquid in it. So I don't know what WB was pressing or where they were pressing at, but you could tell this was not entirely legal.
So I just read a little bit list of some of the titles affected.
Good.
And it was like Animaniacs,
no.
Tales from the Crypt,
No.
and unfortunately, one that I have right here, I'm going to check. It's the Blade Runner 5-disc set.
Oh, that would suck.
Like that top one, mutant spoiler. Now, if Dr. Brentley starts going into a mutation or some situation, since he's a doctor, we can't help him.
just go for the head. That's all I know. Everything that I've been told.
A live unboxing to see if there's rot. This was the first one on YouTube.
I hope not. 'Cause that's a cool set.
I know.
Yeah.
I was going to sell it for some good money too.
Yeah. Nope. Like, this is probably
I don't think you are.
Let's see.
I like this
one. I just want to know if people like. I guess based on Richard and Dr.
That one
Brinley
looks
here.
okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Richard's going through all of his. It's probably about 10,000 titles.
We're
Disc
good.
2 looks okay.
Okay.
Maybe
All right.
because they were sealed. Maybe if you were like
Maybe so.
actively using
They
them,
put in the air, it'll
got in.
start rotting out tonight.
Or maybe if the film was shit, then it started to rot faster.
Yes.
That one looks okay.
All right, we're
All
good.
right.
Blade
Okay,
Runner's
okay.
good.
Got 2 more.
All right. Well,
The 5-disc set.
Yep.
That one looks okay. All right.
Notice how they had a 5-disc set for one movie. Interesting.
Well, there's a Blade Runner. There's like 8 different versions of it.
Exactly. It's like we just load it all up. Everything.
All right. Well, this is all good, and I'm going to sell it as quick as possible. It's available at Dr. Brantley's Collectibles on eBay.
Right there. Well, like I said again, anybody else want to check? Richard, how's your collection doing, buddy? You're able to check it through? Everything else bad,
he's turned already. He's
I know
turned.
He's
right
like
there.
he's not even paying attention. He's like, I just lost
God.
so much.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You
Scott
got a
Solo.
problem with Blade Runner?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 10. They just keep making them more and more and more. Yeah. Just the Commander Bly. Well, we know Commander Bly owns mostly Disney DVDs, so he got out of that one. Yeah, the Clooney's Batman. Oh, that was rotted before they even put the disc in, brother. Like that movie, they burnt that. And like I said, Richard from Crickets, so far okay, crossing the fingers. Because with all the bad movies that you watch, I'm surprised that they actually didn't start rotting the minute you put it in a DVD player. But that's here nor there. And moving on to our next topic. Okay, man, guess what? They're getting closer to the Hotel Continental.
They
Like I
are.
said, Vegas, John Wick, what else do you need? And of
Nothing.
course, the old catchphrase, what happens in Vegas? Well, if you go to the John Wick experience, probably will stay in Vegas. Lionsgate has immersive John Wick experience now opened at Area 15, which is located just off the Las Vegas Strip. Now, guaranteed, if you ever walked off the Las Vegas Strip, it will be like the bad part of the Hotel Continental with people shooting up and everything. So be careful. Be careful. You might want to Uber to that side. John Wick filmmaker and his entire team from 8711 Entertainment were creative collaborators on the experience from design to the stunt works. Now, here's the best part. Each of the guests, give you a gold medallion. Oh, no, it's not this part. Okay. Each of the guests passing through the John Wick experience are tasked with completing a mission that plays out in a unique ways with characters, mythology, inspired by the feature film universe. Visitors may rub elbows or grab a drink with John Wick Continental Las Vegas staff. Okay, assassins. Well, you don't need to go to John Wick thing to go there. I've been set next to assassins every time I went there. Crime bosses, they'll have to go to John Wick experience to get that. And other guests like themselves, they're roughly 12,000 square feet, ticketed attraction, and including 2 theme bars and a retail shop. So if you want some John Wick gear, this is a place to get it. Now, I don't need to
That's
ask this
awesome.
question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Damn straight, we're all going to this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was already on my way there.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'll right after I visit Circus, I'm gonna go to John Wick's hotel, and this looks awesome. This
Yeah, it
looks just full blown experience.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't end like the Star Wars themed hotel, where like after 3 months they shut that shit down because it's too pricey. But
Or the Star Trek experience in Vegas too. Experiences don't do well in Vegas.
they should do a John Wick cruise, and half the people just get dumped overboard.
Yeah. The cruise ship Continental, I don't know about that.
Actually, that sounds actually really good. Cruise ship Continental.
I would have to go to there.
That'd be interesting on that. Like when you're looking at Scott Souls at Area 15 is awesome. And Commander Bly said, I need to visit the armory, dude. Oh, yeah. Would that be, that would be interesting. But that's off the strip, bro. That's not at this place. In Vegas. Look, man, I think that, with the movie, the ballerina, more promotion out there. I think this is very smart. Like I said, Dr. Brentley was joking early before we were on about the Hotel Continental. Like they should actually really make a Hotel Continental in Vegas, like a John Wick themed hotel. And I think that Vegas is the place where that would work because, come on, look, from the bright colors that they do in the Hotel Continental or all the other rooms and the bars. And I even saw there's a guy on Instagram that did a theme bar in his house that was based off of John Wick. And just the color schemes alone is such a rich and unique color palette. I think this would be an actual really good tourist attraction. But again, I don't know how much these tickets are going to cost and everything else. Anybody other than Scott Solo been to Area 15 to pay for any immersion? Do we have a thought process on how much this might cost?
Oh no, I'm just showing up in an all black suit on horseback, and just like John Wick. I'm going all out.
You're celebrating like John Wick and also Red Dead Redemption 3.
Well,
Oh,
well,
we
We've
got a
got
casualty.
bad news.
The Dukes of Hazzard.
oh,
Oh.
poor Luke Duke, huh? Finally, those Duke boys were defeated.
Well,
Yep, Boss Hog finally got to him.
Finally got to him and everything else, man. He's waiting a long time. Wow. Well, gentlemen, with that, guess what? That's the end of SKN News for tonight.
thank you, Mr. Storm. As always, if you are not subscribed, now is the time to do so, because it is also time for our March Madness Elimination Bracket Challenge. The King of Monsters 16 giant, epic, legendary creatures go up in against each other to determine the winner. Gentlemen, are you ready?
Yes.
That's pretty loud.
Oh boy.
I got a feeling, I'm just not saying bias here, but I got a feeling.
Well, let's set the stage. 16 amazing monsters here in elimination bracket, and we will determine the one and only King of Monsters. Godzilla usually takes the King of Monsters title, but do we feel differently? Gentlemen, are you ready to proceed?
I'm ready. I've been fired up all week for this, man.
All right. Well, the Godzilla fan that you are, I'm
Yes,
sure
sir.
you were. So let us start with the first matchup. And, well, it is none other than the famous dragon from the Lord of the Rings series, Smaug, and from the King Kong franchise, that is the Skull Crawler. Gentlemen, who takes this battle between the two kings of the monster world?
Easiest one of the night. It's Smaug. Skull Crush or Skull Crawler, whatever the hell they were called. Nah, they were so easy to get by with King Kong. Smaug actually did some damage.
Dr. Brentley knows that this is one of my favorite on-screen dragons, only because of the fact he's so dear to my heart. Loves gold. I actually have been trying to put away to get my Smug medallion so I can wear it around him and everything else. That my man destroying villages, killing hobbits, and doing whatever he can and everything, and keeping a bunch of people out away from New Gold and everything, which was always dope. It's Smug, man. It's kicking butt. Smug.
Yep, I'm on that bandwagon.
Well, it is unanimous. Smaug moves on, and next up it is, well, the legendary Godzilla character. It's Mothra versus the most famous dinosaur, the T-Rex from the Jurassic Park franchise. Who takes this battle?
This is a mighty tough one right here.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think Mothra would actually win in a fight, but I like the T-Rex so much better.
Well, T-Rex is like, he's came to San Diego. He's been all over places and everything else like that. He's got a little bit more experience than Mothra coming just out.
Why?
Of that
We're on the same page.
I mean, all you have to do is like bite one of those wings, man, and Mothra ain't flying no more.
I gotta say, man, T-Rex always finds a way, man. He always finds a way on or off that island. I gotta say, it's the T-Rex, bro.
And also, if he's in the cocoon, T-Rex wins 100%.
Sure.
That is true.
It is hard. True. It's hard to battle a flying giant monster, though, I will say. And T-Rex does not have any hands, really. So it's just, maneuverability with Mothra. I'm going to go with Mothra on this one because T-Rex is so limited. Not like he's jumping anywhere. Go take his back, take his neck, take him down. That's all you need to do to defeat T-Rex. So I am going with Mothra.
Interesting choice. Are you waiting on me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I already said T-Rex.
Well,
There you go.
T-Rex proceeds 3 against 1. T-Rex advances. Next up, it is King Kong versus Mecha Godzilla. Uh-oh. This one could be close.
This is easy, bro. This is easy. We saw him whoop his ass in the last movie, bro. You know, it's like, come on, man. This is Kong all day long, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, King Kong wins.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Mecha.
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying, if he gets wet, if he gets a couple of his wires crossed, Mecha Godzilla's down.
Look, man, Commander Bly, he was taken down by like a couple of shitty actors and a kid in that movie. It's like, come on. The Kong and Godzilla almost didn't even have to take him down. You know, it was like, good Lord.
Do we ever see Mecha Kong?
Did we see? I don't think so.
Man, we need to see a Mecha
In
Kong.
one mecha.
I'm going with Kong. I think just brutal powerhouse. Again, I think he takes the robot down.
Yeah, that Kong. There's so much. Like, yeah, the robot's cool and everything, but Kong gets super angry, just starts ripping everything off. Just runs. You shoot him, he doesn't give a shit. Just keeps running.
Plus, he had that power glove too. You know, come on, you play Nintendo games, everything else, man. So, got to give it to Kong, man.
He did have the power glove.
He
He
did.
did, yeah.
And Kong can heal. Mecha Godzilla, when he loses a limb, it's gone.
That's right.
Mm,
That's right.
wow. This is tough.
Kong advances. For those of you who don't remember, 1981, one of the first earlier dragons, and that is the dragon from the Dragon Slayer versus, well, Lord of the Ring series again, and Balrog, the epic battle with our favorite wizard. So who takes this one?
Balrog. Dragon Slayer looked great. It was the very first movie that ILM did the effects for after Star Wars.
Oh,
A lot of people don't know that.
yeah, the
that's
dragon
why
looked
it
really
looked so
great.
damn
for
good.
81.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked really good.
But the Balrog kicks his ass. He's made of fire and shadow. Come on. Can't beat that.
Fire and shadow.
Okay, we're back on the same page now.
Commander
Yeah.
Bly, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Balrog. Look, he's burning on fire here, for God's sakes. Like, I know a dragon can breathe fire, but plus also if you watched that Lord of the Rings on Amazon and everything, man, it was a hell of a kick-ass sequence when that character showed up too, and in the movie. So Balrog for me, man.
Yeah. I'm Balrog solely because I used to play him a lot in Street Fighter. So it was like, like I don't understand how you can't pick that.
how you went from a boxer to a shadow
I know.
flame warrior.
That's the whole point, is like it's unexpected.
It's
It's just,
evolution.
what are you gonna do?
All right, Balrog advances. Oh boy, we
Man.
got the T-Rex versus Smaug.
Sorry, T-Rex.
Big Rex is getting his behind wet.
Yeah, see you later there, guy.
Well, that was a quick response from the group.
All
Smaug
you have to do is
advances.
he sets him on fire.
Mhm.
T-Rex is cooked. Done.
Or he takes
Now
a bag of gold and busts him over the head, man.
Now this is an interesting one: Kong versus Balrog.
Oh,
Because Kong's you catch himself on fire pretty quickly, and
Yeah.
that fur,
Oh,
boots
I
and the
really
fur.
thought it was going to be Kong and Godzilla at the end, but
I'm not sure.
this is going to be the Balrog for me.
here's the reason why I say this: is it Kong without the axe, or Kong with the axe? Because if he's got the axe,
No,
he's good, but he's no axe and fist in there. Or does he have the axe and the power glove? That's the question here. Is it just pure Kong with nothing, or is he battled up?
It's
He's got
just
his
it could
armor?
be Kong, it could be power
Okay,
glove.
if it's
He could have
Kong
the
with
headband.
the
He could
power
have
glove and the axe,
Marty McFly boots, whatever you
Yeah.
need. Kong is
yeah.
equipped.
If it's Kong with the gear, Kong's winning this one. No gear, Balrog. But I'm
You're
just
not
gonna go. Look, I know Kong's leaving this. Well, I'm just gonna vote. I can't go against my man right here. Kong has to go, but I'm gonna vote for Kong. I know it's a losing battle.
Kong is gonna be a tasty delicacy because he's gonna be burnt to a crisp by Balrog. All right, as much as I love Kong, I don't know how he's beating the flames of Balrog. And King Kong doesn't have any magical wizardry powers. I'm gonna go with Balrog on this one.
And a good update.
Yeah.
Dukes look like they're okay.
Thank God.
Those Duke boys.
Yeah,
Count
Gana.
You shall not.
I don't think
sorry,
Kong. I don't
Gandalf.
think Kong wins this.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
All right, I'm sorry to say it. Who would have thought King Kong was down?
I didn't know you was bringing in a ringer like Balrog. Man. You were God.
All right, and then the last of the left side of the bracket, Smaug versus two Lord of the Rings legendary monsters. This one is a tough one.
And this has got to be some, like, since these have been published, this has got to be a fan fight, that has been going on for a long time.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
I still think the Balrog wins this because he is so powerful. He's more than a living, breathing thing. He's not just like flesh and blood. He is from the shadows of hell, so. But
I don't know. First of all,
but Smaug, he breathes fire too, so it's fire versus fire in some
but
sense.
yeah, but he's not gonna hurt the
That's
Balrog with fire.
That's true.
And so, what else does he got?
Well, he was dipped in gold, bro. So
Balrog would melt it.
Well, it was already melted on. It might be armor. Look, I can never go against my man, the dragon, right here. So already just biased right here. And yes, and Commander Bly's right. He has the 0 intellect. Exactly.
Well, he does have flight. He has the gift of flight. The Balrog fly? No, right? He has like devil or demon wings, but I don't think we ever saw him fly.
No, so Paul.
Yeah, so Smaug has that advantage, similar to Mothra, which is like try to get him. He'd be swinging, and Smaug would just be floating overhead. But the thing would be, how does he defeat the Balrog? Because to Dr. Brantley's point, it ain't gonna be by fire.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm never gonna vote against my man, the dragon Smaug. Nah, he may be a losing participant in this, but I'm going down with my two boys, Kong and him. We're going down. So, Mr. Maddox, who you taking out?
I'm on the dragon side, man. I chase that plastic dragon. This bad boy's gonna win. I mean, you don't know. You don't know. He might kill him. You don't know. Fire's not gonna do anything to him. His scales are fireproof. Anyone knows that about dragons.
Only way to hurt him is to take his Ira.
We got 2 against 2 here, so we're gonna need to go to the chat for the verdict. Chat in the next 20
Commander
seconds.
Bly is with Smaug. And that's the only one that's chimed in.
We need anybody else in the chat want to vote here. You've got 10 seconds. Otherwise, we are giving the dragon the nod. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Smaug has advanced to the finals. All right. Well, let's see who's going to take on Smaug. And first up is the legendary Godzilla versus, well, a lot of people think is the ripoff Godzilla, Gamera.
Yeah.
So who wins in this battle?
Well, being as I watched him from as a child, both of them, and they started off with some really shitty movies, and then they really kind of got up there. I actually would like to see the updated version of them actually kind of go at it and everything, to be quite honest with you. Godzilla's beating Gamera every day. He's a flying turtle, for God's sake. Godzilla's beating him.
Yeah.
Yep. Love.
Zilla for me. Chat.
Godzilla.
Godzilla next up. Oh,
yeah.
Ooh, well, we got this is an interesting one. We
Oh,
got
mm,
Indominus Rex, which
mhm,
was the what was it, the fourth installment of Jurassic Park or the third
mm,
one? I
the
forget, but
fourth
like
one.
Yeah,
Fourth movie.
Jurassic World.
Mhm.
the like bioengineered created badass versus Rodan from the Godzilla franchise.
Again, know both characters extremely well. Spent most of my life with Rodan, although that version of Rodan bowed down. The 1960s version was hardcore, so they kind of screwed up on this one. But he is, my man's all blazed out of fire and everything. That almost took down a U.S. military plane. I got to give it to you. I got to go with Rodan, bro.
Yeah, I'm when you can fly, you're gonna win pretty much if you're that big. It's Rodan.
Yeah.
Yep. No. Yes. No. Yes, Rodan.
Richard just going through 100,000 DVDs. Right? As long as Masters of the Universe is safe, we are good. Next up, we've got this is an interesting one. So from Clash of the Titans, we've got the Kraken, and then from the Godzilla series, we've got none other than King Ghidorah. So thoughts on this?
That Kraken was big as hell in Clash of Titans. I
In
think
both
Ghidorah's
the
just
new one
crumbled.
and the old one.
Yeah, it was big
beasts.
as hell, man. I
Yeah.
don't think Ghidorah has a chance.
Yeah,
It's
I love
Kraken to me.
release the Kraken.
Yeah, Kraken is gonna take this one easy. Gonna grab those
Kraken.
wings and throw them underwater, and that's
Yep.
it for you.
Kraken moves.
Kraken. Okay, next up, as you all recall, the Clover monster from Cloverfield versus the Kaiju from Pacific Rim.
Oh,
Oh, I just watched
don't-
Pacific Rim again.
Oh, such a great movie, man.
Yeah.
You know what that movie was? That was like it reminded me in the monster universe of what's the movie with the spider bugs, the alien spider bugs?
Oh, you talking about Starship Troopers?
Starship Troopers. Like
Yeah.
Pacific Rim was like Starship, like great popcorn movie, so rewatchable, kind of cheesy, cool special effects. I could watch Pacific Rim all day long. Now the other ones,
Oh, it's called
yeah, not so
Leatherback.
much.
Okay. Pacific Rim, Leatherback. Actually, since we've done it, those were some pretty
Man,
nasty
he was like
creatures.
Godzilla. He
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
there, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Commander Bly. I gotta go with Leatherback, man.
Yep, it's the Pacific Rim.
Okay. All right.
Ooh.
Godzilla,
Come on.
versus Rodan.
Seen the fight 100 times.
Yeah, we have.
Literally, Godzilla always wins. So yeah,
Yep,
Godzilla.
he hasn't won once.
Yeah, not yet.
Chet, Godzilla.
I don't know. This one's pretty hard. No, it's yeah. Fine.
All right, next up, we've got the Kraken versus Leatherback.
I still think the Kraken. I still think Kraken.
I mean, the
takes
Kraken was gigantic, but Leatherback didn't he have like the melting powers? It was like very similar to Godzilla. His like flame effects, like he was able to breathe some type of like fire or acid or something. I don't know. Could he spray that at the Kraken? He had very similar Godzilla traits, right?
But unless you've got a Medusa head, you're not going to defeat the Kraken. The only thing that got him was turning him to stone. I don't think melting is going to work.
Well, technically, that's not right. He took a look at a very ugly woman, then turned to stone. That was what happened.
Okay.
That's happening right now in a bar in New Jersey as we speak.
They call
when the lights go on. Like
they
it's
call
2 o'clock.
that one lady that sits at the edge of the bar that everybody knows in town. There's like that's the Kraken. Okay, Kraken advances.
I knew I was gonna get Chet with that one.
Some like Boston bartenders, like, hey, don't send the lady down there to crack.
Not enough Samuel Adams in his bar for that.
Yeah.
All right. It is the Kraken versus Godzilla.
Godzilla.
It's Godzilla, man.
What do you
Sorry.
mean? You just said the Kraken like we just
Hey,
can't
never
beat,
go against. Hey,
but
man,
then,
you never
Godzilla. We're just
never go against the Zilla man, bro. Never. Go
I
against
do. I'm cracking 1000% right
Can't
now.
do it. Can't do it.
Kraken is a lot bigger than Godzilla.
Can't do it.
No,
But the only thing is, he's got the atomic breath and everything, and especially
but you don't.
in that
But you don't know what
one,
the crack. You don't know what the Kraken has.
he
You
got
don't know.
a couple of extra
When he
arms.
saw an ugly woman, brother.
Kraken just wraps her beady, greasy, sweaty arms around him and just holds him at the bottom of the ocean.
All you have to do is say last call. The Kraken's not making it. Just like we call Fireplace.
so good.
Like I said, matter of fact, we're gonna actually put that quote up, Richard, and that's gonna be a short on YouTube. I mean, you already get through this last one. Thanks to Richard.
So good. I'm gonna go Godzilla here. He's got that. Dr. Brantley said he's got that flame, like that atomic, that I think he would just cut right through the Kraken.
Well, especially in that Godzilla -1, where the way they did it was so good, where it's like he actually breathes it, and then it's like a nuclear explosion at the point he does it. So
it's gonna be a tough one. So I want to get things to Richard.
if you don't have somebody, we're turning on the lights in 1 minute. Now's your time to leave.
All right.
Said in the middle of the ocean.
Oh boy.
Got one.
The final battle to legendary Smaug versus Godzilla.
Okay, now I thought long and hard because I thought this would probably be easy. And go with me here. Smaug has only torn up one village. Godzilla has destroyed Tokyo 1,000 times. And then he also came to the United States, tore up San Francisco. Look, you didn't think Oakland could get any worse, and then Godzilla went through and tore that up. So it's my man Godzilla. Give him do we have like a WWE belt or something to give him? Because it's Godzilla, man. He's whooping Smug's butt, man. Sorry, Smug.
I just love that Godzilla's thing, his whole philosophy. He's just in the water, and then he just gets pissed off. Like, I'm just gonna come out the water. Some monster's like this monster is doing something. I'm just gonna take care of business. Like, that's just his existence. It's just.
Well, I have a theory that I think he worked for State Farm because he comes through and he damages up all this property, and then people's rates go up, and then Godzilla takes off. So I think he's working for a corporate entity, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, the only thing is that Smaug can fly. Again, a little bit of trouble, but we know that Godzilla has handled a lot of flying monsters efficiently well. I think it goes back to that atomic energy blast, man. And I don't even, if Smaug can be taken down by a spear, basically, then you think he's going to survive a Godzilla attack?
No, especially not that version of Godzilla. That was the mean sucker right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
compared to the legendary version.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think anybody was surprised about the outcome, but it is Godzilla is our victor, but I don't think anybody expected Smaug to be there. At least maybe some folks that are listening, maybe Kong, maybe some of the others. So congratulations to, once again, King of the Monsters has not been dethroned. Godzilla is champion. So thanks all for participating and listening again. Subscribe, like, drop a comment. We appreciate the viewership, and we're going to update you on a couple things that are up and coming in the SKN universe. Mr. Storm, what do we got brewing?
Well, we got a couple of things coming in our upcoming schedule. Right here, we got on March 28th through the 30th. Myself and Mr. Maddox down there will be in Toy Atlanta at the Gas South Convention Center in Duluth, Georgia, and we will be at the Odd Frog slash Bandito Radio 112 FM booth, and we will be live streaming. That's right, we will be live streaming. You'll see stuff on our channel and also on Bandito Radio, and we're gonna see if we can get some of the other guys, like maybe Bliss Transmission or Sorlac, to actually jump into the fun on that. But we will be there. You can come by and see that. Also, May the 4th. That's right. People always say it's the Star Wars Day, but this year, May the 4th, it's going to be, well, start off the morning with the SoCal Joe Show in Temecula, California. And SKN will have a booth and vending, and will also be right next to the person with 10,000 DVDs that he's searching through his collection right now. Richard over at KS Collectibles, he will actually have some bangers that he's bringing, some vintage vehicles that like he's just kept in. He's bringing out along with after he moves all his 10,000 DVDs out of the way. But we will have a booth there. We'll be live. Yeah, not yet. Thank God, not yet. We will be live streaming from there as well and giving you all the action for anything from vintage to modern figures. And then on May the 4th, we just got that in the other day. Darth Moocher was putting it in at the Better Days bar in Apple Valley, California. There's going to be Star Wars trivia and some nights, and some special things. So, like, join us in the morning and through the mid-afternoon over at the SoCal Joe Show, and then at night we head up to the high desert, and we'll be, it's a little bit like Jabba's palace. We'll be getting torn up, and there'll be all kind of stuff, and hopefully somebody will come through with a blaster on that night.
And it is a toy drive. So if you come, please bring a toy.
Exactly. And look, any kind of toy, it doesn't matter where you get it. Bring something. So from there, well, we kind of teased this. Chet will be signing autographs at the booth. He certainly will be. Yeah, he's at the SoCal. Look, only 2 places so far that you can get something signed, because at that Star Wars theme that night, Chet won't be signing anything other than people be signing his bar tab. That won't be happening. So if
correct.
you want a legitimate autograph from her, or take a picture, because we've seen some CEOs from some toy companies that sought him out, take pictures with them. Toy Atlanta and the SoCal Joe Show. You want to see all the glory of Chet in person. Doesn't happen. This TV screen can't contain everything that man is. You got to see him in person if you have a chance. We teased this up on our Instagram page, over the Shadow Knows Network on Instagram, also through X and all of our social media platforms. The 2025 SKN Toy Atlanta exclusive T-shirt. Now, we said you had to watch the live streams, keep the details. Now, this is all I will say. This the other day, the fine folks at Toy Atlanta actually liked this on our Instagram page. So it's going to tell you is that if the actual promoters of the show is like, I'm digging that, well, time and effort's been spent in. If you go over to, and I believe this is live right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Chet, but if you go to shadowknowsnetwork.com, that's Shadow with the E, Shadow Knows Network, right there, you can purchase for a limited time, because there will only be a certain amount of supplies of this left. It's not going to be up there continuously long, but you can pick up your in 3 absolutely amazing colors. Chet, you want to give them any other information on that?
Yeah, so this goes live at 9 p.m. tonight. You will be able to see it. It is fantastic, and I think this will be up on the site 9 p.m. It is limited to 300, so we're seeing how long it goes. We're just putting it up now, see what happens. If we need to get more, we'll figure it out, but I think we're sticking at like 300, so we want to keep this a short run, and it'll be up and golden. So
now, unlike where you go through all that crap that you go through for Walmart.com and everything crashes, everything. Our site won't crash. You will actually be able to put something in your cart and actually check out and actually get it. So it's the most un-Walmart thing is you can purchase now, and that we've got a lot of interest in this, and it's kind of cool that
And
this popped out.
just because you're watching, I want to show everybody really quick if I could take over.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's show you what it looks like. We gotta.
Can you take over?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
So this is the exclusive, and you can't see the shirt yet. We didn't put it up because it's timed. I don't want you guys to see it, but this is where you'll get it. It's all right here, starting at 9:00.
Wow.
So be ready. Be ready for it. It's gonna be great.
Another update tomorrow from 1 to 4 p.m. Pacific time. He will be part of the drink and draw over at Forbidden Panels. Yes, I've seen that. Joel, a couple other guys over there that are artists and everything. So if you guys, well, I don't know about Richard telling any bar stories because we've already heard enough tonight. To imagine how bad that's going to be. But check it out. They've done that a couple of times. It was really cool and everything. So that you get to see these guys draw out and see who gets to actually make the drawing functional. That once they've had a couple of drinks in them. Commander Blythe said you get them in. Mr. Maddox would know that question.
You've got to customize it yourself, Commander.
Only for the booth. Only for the booth babes.
Yeah, you got to be a
just a
booth
pair of
babe to get
scissors.
that. Yeah,
3 cuts, you're done.
Only for
do,
the convention booth babes.
I do actually. You'll see a surprise at Toylanta, but yeah, they are sleeveless.
Mhm.
Well, mine is.
Yeah, exactly. Fair. So
Alright.
and then if you're not watching on Wednesdays and Fridays, again, Wednesday Toy Box Chronicles, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then you can always catch us like you're catching us right now tonight for Pixel Plastic Inc. 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Brad. I think you had that surprise last one that popped in for Stan Lee, right?
Yeah. Before we adjourn, I don't think I'm sure everyone. If you haven't been following along, a new trailer has been circulating amongst these social channels. A very close person to Stan Lee, kind of his assistant, theoretically, has claimed over the past several the later years of Stan Lee's life that he was taken advantage of and forced to do autographs and conventions. And I know Liefeld was a part of this documentary and some other folks. And it'd only be fair before we adjourn and wrap it up is just to comment on that, because obviously Stan Lee is such a big name in the comic book and all the things we talk about pop culture space. And so we thought before we leave, we talk through that a little bit. And I just, I'll share my thoughts. And I haven't seen the full documentary. All we know is of the trailers and some additional commentary. So you can't validate what's true, what's not at this point. But assuming, and this is purely assumption, of all the things that are right, and some of the videos are very conclusive of, seems like he should have probably not have been at some of these conventions and dragged along in his later life. It is sad. It really is sad, regardless if it's Stan Lee or anybody else of that age, to be taken advantage of. And I think we all have been to numerous conventions and where Stan Lee has been a part of. You've seen him. He's done the cameos in a lot of the Marvel films, obviously an iconic name. And just saddened to hear if all of what we see to be in the trailer is true. Man, those folks should never work a day in their life in this industry or any other industry. So I kind of don't want to watch it, but then part of me says I want to see if what all of this is about. But what a bummer for a legendary figure in the comic community. So I'll let you all speak, but that's my 2 cents there.
Chad, why don't you start this first, since you know some firsthand information as well?
Yeah, look, there was some so when I really started to kind of get into uh started to realize how bad it actually was back when it used to be called Kamikaze, like LA Kamikaze, when they had that convention going on over there. And I remember like you would go, and I remember going there when it was in the garage of the convention center before they moved it into the halls. And then when Stan Lee took over and like put the name on it, and it was like Stan Lee's Kamikaze, I was like, oh, it's freaking cool. Like I'm excited about it. I want to go like see it. And I remember in this documentary, there's one scene where they show Stan Lee's like sitting down, doesn't look like he can move, and he's sitting down, and like behind him is like black, but then there's like boxes to the side of him. And I remember legitimately seeing him in that spot going like, what is actually wrong? And then they had this whole line for like his autograph, and he was just, it looked like he needed to go home and go to bed. And it was like, yeah. And there's, you know, it just, it was really bad. Um, And look, I know like Stan Lee probably wasn't the best to people when it was coming up, and there's always somebody that's always doing something to somebody else. But honestly, like this is just it's one of those things where it's not good, man. And I was bummed out, and I backed the Kickstarter. Like I think it's something that needs to get out there, needs to be done. This is like the whole same concept of well, I don't know if it's really the same, but yeah, it's just not, it's not a good thing. It's a bummer that existed. And I think I know the guy that's the main dude, like forced him to do everything, looks very familiar to me. Because I know he got his little red Star Wars shirt from Target. And I don't know who that dude is, but if we could find out who he is, just make sure he just is never allowed around like elderly people again would be fantastic. And not because it's Stan Lee, but because like if someone treated my grandfather like that, there would be a massive problem. He would have to come bail me out. That's just it's. I don't care what anyone does to anybody over a period of time. I think it's messed up. I think you ultimately get it, but like treatment like that, nah, it's not good.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I think that whether you're a fan of him or not, whether what he did during his lifetime, and I know people always have to say, "Oh, well, it's good to have his come ups at the end." It's never good to have that happen. You don't want to have anybody have that kind of situation brought upon them in any way, especially when they're vulnerable. And I always have this thing about children and elderly. You just there's certain things you just don't do, and it's sad that this man's life was done in a way like that at the end. And like I said, at some point, who personally knows the guy who was trying to make the film? And yes, it did take the footage to the police and the DA. He reported it many a times, as well as fought a lawsuit over the footage rights. And yeah, I know Richard actually did put this to our attention early in the week because he has personal knowledge and actually knows the filmmaker and co-descendant. So yeah, and he said he isn't profiting off of the Kickstarter if the cost of just making the film. And I think it's something that in this way it needs to shine out because I think people have one image of Stan Lee, and you would think that he created all these characters and the amount of money and everything he has, but that doesn't shy you away from people that want to do just bad and depictful things to you. And it's sad that this is coming out, that we have to see this, but I think it's good because there are so many elderly being taken advantage of that don't have Stan Lee's name or fortune or even spotlight, that we really need to start thinking about how people are taken care of in these nursing homes or who's their caregivers. So, thanks for bringing it up. I hope the Kickstarter, I'm going to actually donate to the Kickstarter as well because this needs to get out there. We need to see truth of this coming.
Yeah, and I saw that there was a lot of backlash
Yeah.
to it. And part of it was because he's asking for $300,000 to finish the film, which movies, if you do a proper movie, they are expensive, even like documentary stuff. But I do have one problem with what this guy said, because he said part of the expense was having an editor and an assistant editor edit the movie. And he said, oh, editing a feature film takes 52 weeks, which is a year. It does not take 52 weeks. I've done a feature film personally in 2 months. I did one, I think, a little bit quicker than that too, but it was spaced over a longer amount of time, just the actual time I was working on it. But it does not take that long to edit a movie. You can, have a lot of revisions and stuff, and maybe that's the process he's talking about. But it don't take a year to make a movie and edit it.
Yep. Well, look, I think it's a wait and see. Preliminary thoughts here from the group is it's saddened to see. And if all holds true, then again, all those people involved should not ever work in the industry, and some of them got some hell to pay. But we'll stay tuned. And we just wanted to comment on those things before we wrapped up. As always, we appreciate you all tuning in every Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time right here on the network. I hope you all enjoyed this episode as we talk through a lot of interesting pop culture things, from Walmart Comic Con all the way through Kinging Godzilla is the King of Monsters. If you came in late and missed it, check out the replay. It will be available very soon after we wrap things up. So that is all we have. Again, stay tuned for more important updates, and check ShadowNoseNetwork.com for the official Toylanta 2025 exclusive t-shirt. For those of you in the area, we'll see you there. Otherwise, have a good night and see you on Wednesday.
Incoming transmission.
There's a new show headed to Bandito Radio. Action Figure Frequencies with your hosts, Chet Maddox and Alexander Storm. All the talk on action figures you crave. Only on 112 FM Bandito Radio.